Okay, welcome back to Richie's Bets Part 2. We did it last year. Try to give you some winners for the Football League season, and we'll be trying again this year. Hope you all enjoyed the World Cup. I think it was a mixed feelings, wasn't it? A bit disappointed at the end, but a great ride we went on with the team. Those that stayed up into the early hours for the Mexico game were well rewarded. Now we're focusing on the domestic scene. So, quite excited for the new season. As you can see, wearing the colours of my team, but this year could be a good year for United. But I'm feeling more confident I was at the start of last year, that's for sure. Thanks to Michael Carrick. But getting away from that, we're here for League 2 predictions. Before we get going, make sure you gamble responsibly and take that seriously. It's just fun to have a few bets on for the season and see how you get on, and see if you can beat the bookies and win a few quid. So as we approach the new season, it'd be a good time to look back on last year. Now I would say in the predictions I had last year that League 2 is probably the worst of them in the end. So I think I might wait for Chesterfield as my main bet really to be champions. They came 6th. They're actually 3 points off, for 3 points off third, and I did a lot of top 3. I was suggested last year to do top 3 and did a few bets myself for top 3. So didn't do so well there. Not bad, so we weren't far behind. And then also we're talking about Barnet as a top 7 team. That was at 13 to 8 at that price. They came 8th. It was 2 points off, so close but not quite there. But we did say MK Dons to come 2nd. They were because they were favourites. I was trying not to do them almost a little bit, somewhat. But I knew they'd be strong, and they did come 2nd, and they are of course in League 1 now. So that wasn't too bad. And then down the bottom, I went for a value bet of Shrewsbury, who came 19th. So what's that? That's 4 places off relegation, not far away. And Accrington and Cheltenham, and actually came 16th, and Cheltenham came 18th. If I learn anything about when it comes to betting on relegation, things change all the time. Relegated teams and managers come and go when teams are doing badly, so they're not really bets to take too seriously. If you think staking money wise, always put more money on champions and promotion bets and things like that, where positive players and positive managers stay with the course, or it doesn't quite happen the other way around at the bottom. So this year, moving on. Okay, so this year, I really liked the top 6 I picked. When I picked them, I went, all these teams, I'm very confident have good seasons. Interestingly, one team, when reading a few bits, Bob's, now I almost doubt myself enough to change it, but I didn't do it. Okay, we'll get to that. You'll see. But yeah, love the top 6 teams. The top 6 teams, I'll go through them, I won't do it in order, is Chesterfield from last year, Oldham, Bristol Rovers, and Barnet, and Salford, and Port Vale. They're the 6 I really, really liked. My 3rd place team is going to be Chesterfield, the team that I picked last year to win it. So obviously this is a bit of one of those ones you be careful that you don't get either, they didn't let me down last year, so I won't do them this year. At the same time, you don't also to keep backing a team just because you were saying it last year, so you want to prove you're right this year. So it's kind of that sort of, you have to get your emotions right when you decide over this sort of team. So I've gone for them in 3rd because I do think they'll be strong again. I do like their manager Paul Cook. They have got a good team. They were, as I say, they're only 3 points off being automatically promoted, and top 3 bets coming in. So not far away. They've had an okay summer with the transfers. They've got a couple of new players come in. One Irish guy from Ireland, Fraser Bryden, and an ever-present Fadsden has re-signed, who was a key player for them last year. And also they've got Rafik Lamptey from Millwall. He is the brother of Tariq Lamptey of Brighton. Now actually has been transferred, I think, to Millwall by now. So 3rd place, Chesterfield. In second place, I'm going for Barnet. This is the one that I felt like, should I change? A few people are not so positive on them, and that's because they lost Ryan Glover, very goal scoring winger from last year and player of the year, and Callum Stead, who's been a good goal scorer from them for the last couple of years and was a top goal scorer last year. So that is a bit to take. They finished the season brilliantly last year. They won 6-2 and 5-2 in the remaining games at the finish. So I've gone for them based on they came up from the National League last year as a strong National League team, won the league really well, and that always takes me a year or so to get going before they can jump up the second year. I don't think I can remember a team recently, maybe one, but that go win the National League really well and then jump up to League One. And the team that will try that this year, of course, is York City and potentially Rochdale. And York City, by the way, I've put in the playoffs. So I do think they'll come 7th, I think, so they will have a strong year themselves. But Barnet obviously are now doing that second year now. Manager, what's his name now? Dean Brennan, I think his name, Dean Brennan. He is a very good manager. He's proven it really well over the last few years, and now he's going to try and get them promoted from League 2 to League 1. So that'd be 2 promotions in 3 years, which would be a great achievement. I believe he can do it. So although they've lost 2 very key players, which they'll have to make up for, they've also brought in quite a few. They've got a few of their top targets. 2 of those were Jack Maskell from Darlington, who's a goal scoring forward for them, and a young guy, and a 27-year-old winger from Forest Green, Knowles, who was doing very well for Forest Green last year. They've also brought in Oisin Gallagher on a season-long, I hope that's how you say it, on a season-long loan from Lincoln. Lincoln want the player, but they're just going to loan him out for this year while they're in the Championship. So it's two levels up. Loan player there, and he sounds like a good potential player for this season. So yeah, some good signings, and I believe they can kick on again, although quite a lot of the tips are not saying that. But interestingly, they are second in the betting as well, which I was one of the big things about all of this as I lead into my Champions pick, is that I didn't realise as I was doing it, I always do it without knowing the odds, that I actually was picking all my teams in order virtually to how the odds are with the betting firms. It doesn't always work that way, obviously. In the Premier League, it pretty much is always a bit that way. But yes, so first I'm gone for Salford City. Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, David Beckham's team, who have been obviously investing lots of money, and got investors in there as well now that are investing more money into them. Really based on the financial clout, they probably should have been promoted a long while ago, but they brought in a manager called Peter, I have to say this as I read this, Klamovsky, who basically is Ange Postecoglou's right-hand man during their time in Austria and Asia together, and he's carried on in Austria and Asia doing really, really well and being really highly spoke of, and so he sounds like a potentially high-level manager coming at League 2. It could go all wrong. This is one of those tips where it's either completely really smashes it and really and wins the league comfortably, and even might be worth a handicap bet as well. They are favourites to win the league, and maybe if you think like me that they are the best bet, and they could well end up being the team that wins the handicap by just smashing through the points. So I feel that's the more likely outcome, especially when you look at the team they had before anyway, and then you add in the Guyana captain Elliot Bonds from from Fleetwood. So Fleetwood have lost obviously a key player there. We'll get on to Fleetwood a bit later. And also I couldn't believe when they actually signed Langstaff, the goal machine from previous years with Notts County, coming up from the National League and in League 2 at the time, and he went off to Millwall in the end and didn't quite do there, maybe just too high a standard, But yes, I believe he can come back to League Two and start smashing the goals in, and maybe a worthwhile look for top goal scorer. So they also brought in Will Aimson from Wigan. He was a player that played in 50 appearances last year for Wigan in League One, and has achieved 3 promotions in his career. So that's a great addition to a League Two side trying to push up for promotion. Also got Will Norris, 32-year-old goalkeeper, experienced goalkeeper, played for Wycombe last year, got 14 clean sheets in his 42 appearances. So there's a list of players there that's going to massively improve Salford. They really sat. I was very sure of myself when I picked Salford. Yeah, I said the only thing is the manager. The manager is a gamble, but it could be an amazing gamble, or it could be see you later and not even getting the top 3. So I think that's the difference. I think we'll find with Salford next year. They will completely smash it, or not even be in the top 3. So then looking for other bets that you could bring into that, I would suggest Oldham or Chesterfield for promotion or top 7 bets. More top 7 for Oldham. Don't get much price on Chesterfield. But at the moment, for promotion bets, Chesterfield are 5-2 and Oldham are 4-1. So I'm probably saying Oldham will do it via the playoffs. So they haven't got prices out just yet, but I'll be looking for top 7 for them price-wise. Okay, and then relegation-wise, unfortunately, I think Newport, after a few years of survival, they look pretty certain to have another struggling season, and most tipsters I think will go with Newport as the option for relegation. 2-1 to get relegated. Haven't looked at the prices actually for finishing bottom. Might be a better way of doing it potentially. Probably it'll be at least 4 or 5-1 potentially for bottom. Yes, and then to go alongside them, I've got 3 bigger price ones. Funny enough, CCT, Accrington and Cheltenham at 7-2. Having been my 2 teams to finish bottom last year, but now they're saying that they're second and third favourites to go down this year. So yeah, but I'm not going to go with them ones. I'm going to go with one that I did the value bet last year with, and that was Shrewsbury. They lost 14 14 players in the mid-season break. They've signed 5 so far, as I'm recording this, that is. And yeah, they've got a transfer embargo currently, which means they can only loan or get free players in. So which probably doesn't affect League Two teams all that much, to be fair, because not that many of them sign players for cash. But it certainly stops them from buying anyone really decent from another team. So that won't help them, and I put them down as a team that will probably come in 21st, so 6-1. Then I had in 22nd, I had Fleetwood. They lost that captain to Salford City I mentioned earlier, and they also haven't really bought anyone that decent in the mid-season break that I could see. A bit sluggish last year, finished 15th on 61 points last year. So I fancy they will struggle and go down near the bottom. But actually in 23rd I put Gillingham. This is where it's nice when I don't look at the odds before as I pick things. So I got a bit of a surprise when I saw this one, 16-1. So I've had a few quid on that as a little value bet. So just a bit of something you can put a few quid on, nothing too much, and get a nice return. That one looks good. As do the other 2 at 6-1. So that will be my tips on the relegation. Remember, small stakes, and don't get too involved with the relegation scene, just simply because things chop and change, managerial changes and new players in January, and it can all change around very quickly. But yeah, they're the teams I think are likely to struggle this year. And then the only other sort of bets I thought we could look at, handicap bets, as I said, Salford, if they're going to win the league, they'll win it well. 18-1. They're giving everyone 5 points plus, but most teams are quite jammed together. I think even you're down to 13th, 14th on the list, it's sort of 17 points. There's such small amounts, and usually if you look at the leagues before, there's always big gaps, certainly from the top three. If you look all the way down to sort of mid-table, there'll be 20-30 points quite easily, so you can be ahead of the game a little bit with that one. The only other bet I would look at, maybe top goal scorer, Ollie Pearce of York. Been an unbelievable goal scorer in the non-league scene, and really helped York last year. I've got the numbers he scored. I know he scored a lot. I'd imagine it's close to 30. Yeah, so Ollie Pearce and Langstaff, previously obviously high goal scorer in this division, playing for Salford this year, we mentioned earlier. And that would be my tips for the League Two. So focusing on particularly on Salford, nice value bet in the relegation, a few quid, and Oldham particularly, maybe Chesterfield for promotion bets, with Oldham being the sort of top 17. If you can get a price, would have thought you get at least 64 for that, and put it in some accumulators. So yeah, there you go. That wraps that up. Any comments you have, please feel free to put them below. Good luck. Anything you think tips wise, I wouldn't mind know about as well. If you think, you had a particularly strong feeling on a certain team, I'd like to hear about it. Okay, so please gamble responsibly, have some fun, and look out for my League One, Championship and Premier League videos coming up.